Oof, that does not sound good. In the shop today, we have a 2000 Jetta with a 2-liter turbo engine. The owner stated that the car doesn't start and they think it might have a broken timing belt. So in this video, we're going to walk through the process of diagnosing a broken timing belt or a broken timing chain and talk about what that really could mean for the engine. A timing belt is a vital part of an engine. It makes sure that the crankshaft and the camshafts stay in time. In an engine like this, failure can and usually does result in severe engine damage. This and many other engines are known as interference engines. So here we have our piston and here we have our valve. They can occupy the same space but at different times. Well, what happens when a timing belt or timing chain breaks, they occupy the same space at the same time, which means piston comes up and bends valves, and then you get a bent valve that looks like this. This engine also has a timing belt and a timing chain. The belt drives the exhaust cam on the front side of the engine. Then on the back side of the engine, a chain connects the exhaust cam to the intake cam. The first part of our diagnosis is going to be pretty simple. We're going to crank the car and listen to what it sounds like. A normal engine that's going to start should sound like this. When we suspect a broken timing belt or a broken timing chain, we want to get in the car, crank it, and listen for this sound. What you're hearing is a lack of compression, and odds are the car's not going to start. What you're missing is the squeeze portion of our suck, squeeze, bang, blow engine cycle. Next up, we want to do a visual inspection and do a full vehicle scan. And you're probably wondering, Charles, we got a bad engine. Why are we doing a vehicle scan? Well, it's part of the diagnostic process for one. Also, what I would hate for you to do is make all these really expensive engine repairs and then come to find out you also have a bad turbocharger that you didn't know about. So do the full vehicle scan. It gives you a complete picture of what is actually going on with the rest of the car, and we might make different decisions based on what we find. Luckily for us, we have some bad door latches, and that's about it. For the visual inspection, we want to look at the overall exterior of the engine. Make sure there's no severe oil leaks or coolant leaks, or something really severe like a connecting rod punched through the block. This can be helpful too when we go to order our parts to make sure that we get everything on the first order. Now this engine's actually pretty cool because we can look at the camshafts to determine whether we have a belt issue or a chain issue. Now, whether it's the belt or the chain, odds are the damage is going to be the same. However, I want you building good habits and not skipping steps. Think about this from a diagnostic standpoint, not just jumping right to the problem. So what we're going to do is we are going to pull the engine oil cap off and take a look at our cams through there. We could also take the two T30s out of the upper timing cover, pull it back, and inspect our belt that way. With the oil cap off, you can see the intake cam pretty easily. You have to peek back a little bit in order to see the exhaust cam. What you want to do is have someone crank the engine while you're looking down the oil fill hole. If you see the exhaust cam turning and the intake cam is not turning, it's usually the timing chain. If you're not seeing either one of the cams turning, it's most likely a timing belt issue. Next, we want to do a couple more things. Typically, with this failure, it results in bent intake valves. So you could, in theory, pull the intake and inspect the valves. However, that only gives you part of the story. That doesn't tell us anything about the exhaust valves or potential damage to the pistons. What I like to do better is pull the ignition coils, pull the spark plugs, and run that Borescope down the spark plug wells. Now with the Borescope, sometimes it might actually be pretty challenging to see exactly the damage going on. However, it's a really good step because you also want to make sure you don't have something really bad like a hole in the top of the piston, which is super rare, but I have actually seen a piston get broken from this exact damage. So clearly, we have some internal engine damage that we're going to need to get taken care of. We do need to get owner authorization before we do a full teardown on this job. But let's look at what it'll take to get this fixed. The cylinder head does need to come off, and we need to get valves replaced, and maybe more depending on what we find. Now, on a low-mile car, you could probably just put new valves in it and send it on its way. On a higher mile engine like this one, it's probably worth going to the machine shop for new valves, new guides, and new seals. But either way, you're going to need to replace the valves that are bent, a head gasket, bolts, a bunch of seals. It's probably also worth pulling the engine oil pan and cleaning and inspecting the oil pickup tube. You also want to make sure on teardown you note any more damage that you find. Now, if you took this to a shop, you'd probably be looking at a $3,500 to $4,000 repair, depending on where you're at and how much damage was done. You can also order a whole new cylinder head kit and do the repair yourself. Labor time on this kind of job is generally in the 10 or so hour range. Well, as you can see, it was in fact the timing chain that broke. It feels like this car probably didn't have the best oil change history throughout its life, and you can see the tensioner down here is just all in pieces. Luckily though, two luckily things. One, our high pressure fuel pump and the follower for it is not worn through, so we don't need a camshaft. Awesome. Also, this cover isn't busted up or anything like that. This cover's like $900 or something new and has oil control rings in it, so I'm thankful that this isn't damaged. That saved us a bunch of money, but we still got to pull the head, we still got to get valves and do a timing belt and a timing chain, and hopefully don't find anything else more wrong with it. All right, another BPY on the road to repair. With that, I'm out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again next time.